Good afternoon and welcome to IDC Telecom Services Market Forecast across the region web conference. Today, Telecom Consulting and Reserve Manager of Latin America, Diego Anesini, will offer an important overview of industry events, user trends, and service providers' strategy that define the telecom service industry in the coming years. As this is a web-based conference, please write your questions in the Q&A section of your live meeting. To enable Q&A, you need to go on the live meeting menu view. After you are there, select panels, and then enable the questions and answers option. Thank you, and welcome, Diego Anesini.
Thank you, Luciana. Welcome, everybody, to this webinar. Before we start with the presentation, I would like to make an audio test just to make sure that everybody has the right configuration on your live meeting. So I'm going to read this slide just to check this out. We are doing an audio test, and I am talking. If you cannot hear me, please try to enable the audio broadcast on your PC by clicking on the audio plus listen to the internet audio broadcast menu or clicking on the audio icon at the top of the menu bar. Just a couple of additional seconds for those who are doing this configuration. So let's get started. This webinar is composed of 4 parts. First, we're going to talk about market overview, what is the context of the Latin America telecom services market in 2007. Then I'm going to talk about the main trends that drive the telecom services market growth in Latin America. After that, I will land on each country, giving a geographic overview, country by country. And then we will finalize this webinar with some guidance with the main messages that we really like you to take away from this webinar. So first, just as an introduction, some of the main macro indicators of Latin America. Latin America has 562 million people and 143 million households. That gives an average of 4 people per household. This gives us an idea of how many people is in every household. So when we talk about penetration by household or penetration by population, that will give us an idea of what we are talking about. Another important metric here is the mobile penetration. Latin America has 63 mobile subscription per inhabitants. That is very, very high compared to other regions. But something to say about that is that 70% of those mobile subscriptions are prepaid. And the other important thing to tell of this slide is the broadband penetration by household is 12.2%. That is about 3% of penetration within population. Now talking about the global telecom market, these are 2007 figures. The first thing to say here is that the global telecom services market in 2007 was a $1.3 trillion market. If we look at the chart on the left, we can see the service breakout, and we can know that mobile voice and mobile data together account for 53% of the total market. Now, looking at the right side chart, we can see that Latin America is $128 billion market that accounts for 9.8%, about 10% of the global telecom services market. If we talk about market growth, the global telecom services market grew 7.7% last year, and the Latin America grew 10.7%. That means that there is a higher growth, and it's due to lower fixed services penetrations like voice or broadband, and that also talks about a less mature market with a higher growth land to go. So we talk about less mature market. In this chart, we can see the same figures that we saw in the last chart, but accounting for the Latin America telecom market. If we look at the left chart, we can see that mobile services also account for 53% of the market. As we can see that mobile data is quite lower than the global market. It's 3% versus 10% in the world. And mobile and fixed data together account for 12% of the market, compared to the including broadband and fixed data, and compared to the 17% of the global market. That gives us also an idea of the lower matureness of this market. But that is not a bad news. We are talking about a less mature market with higher growth potential in the upcoming years. So we just started with the market overview. Now let's see what are the main trends that would drive these growth opportunities that we've been talking about. We have three main trends that will direct impact in services that will drive the market growth in the upcoming years in Latin America. So the first one is convergence. Convergence will drive a fixed to mobile substitution, and also a fixed to IP services substitution, not only in voice, but also in data services like email or instant messaging. The second one is mobility, with mobile data gaining momentum and gaining protagonism in the mobile services market, with more sophisticated usage as well as not so SMS-based communication. And the third main trend is broadband. Broadband it will continue to grow in terms of penetrations and usage in the region in the upcoming years. So let's go deeper in each of these three main trends that will drive the market growth in the upcoming years. The first one we've been talking about is convergence, and we talked about substitution effects from fixed voice toward mobile and IP communications. In this chart, we can see how voice communications will be composed in 2012. We can see that traditional TDM voice will decline, and mobile and IP voice will grow, gaining more share in the total traffic in 2012. That will come to 1 trillion minutes for that year. The second main trend was mobility. In 2007, mobile data only accounted for 7% of total mobile services spending in Latin America. Of that, 70% of usage was SMS. So that gives us an idea of basic services usage. However, IDC expects that in the upcoming years, 3G deployment and WiMAX conversion from fixed to mobile services will help mobile data development and adoption growth in the upcoming years. From a segment perspective, the consumer side will grow upon entertainment downloads such as ringtones, ringtones, videos, games, that kind of content, and also will driven by more complex applications usage, such as instant messaging or email usage also. And the business side will go from an SMS-based model towards more complex applications, business applications such as CRM, ERP access, and also in mobile field service automation. From a geographic point of view, Chile and Mexico, with higher adoption growth, will lead the growth in the near term, and in the mid and long term, Argentina, Brazil, and Colombia will follow this trend also. The third main trend that we have been talking about is broadband. Right now, we are experiencing an adoption boom in Latin America of broadband services. In 2007, Latin America accounted for 20 million connections, with a 37% of growth compared to 2006. Those are good news, but there is still a long way to go, because Latin America accounts for 3% of penetration of broadband over population. If we compare this with the U.S. with 19% of penetration, Spain with 17% of penetration, and Korea with 27%, that gives us an idea of, okay, we have a long way to go in terms of penetration growth in Latin America. IDC expects that with more and better offerings by the internet service providers, larger triple-play deployments, and higher geographic coverage will drive a huge growth of broadband in Latin America. In 2012, IDC expects that 30% of the households will have a broadband connection, with more than 50 million connections in the region. That will also give a penetration over population of more than 8%. Okay, we have been reviewing some of the main trends that will drive the Latin America telecom services growth in the upcoming years. So now let's land in each of the countries so we can give a status of how is the development of the services in each of the main markets in the region. First, we can talk about Brazil, with recent triple-play deployments and 3G and WiMAX options. These deployments and these options provide a boost to broadband and mobility services in the region, not only fixed but also mobile. In Mexico, we have more competitive pressure from the CDEX and the non-incumbent providers, with three triple-play deployments and voice over IP. And also, WiMAX is the option for geographic expansion in that country. In Argentina, we have recent 3G and triple-play deployments that will drive more and better fixed and mobile broadband offerings. In Chile, Chile is the most mature market in terms of advanced communication services, such as IP or mobile services, not only voice but also data services. Triple-play is already positioned in that country, and WiMAX will be the chosen technology for geographic expansion. Talking about Colombia, Colombia had a recent explosion of broadband adoption in 2007, and IDC expects this to continue in the short term and also in the middle term. And from the enterprise segment offerings, the focus of the service providers is the value-added services such as managed services or outsourcing. In Peru, we experienced broadband growth, high broadband growth in 2007, and that is also expected to continue in the upcoming years. WiMAX will be also the geographic expansion technology option by the service providers. Okay, now we have finished with the main trends and the geographic overview. Now I would like to give you the main messages that I would like you to take away from this webinar. So talking about the main trends that would drive telecom services growth, we can talk about mobility, convergence, and broadband, as we spoke before, and as we detailed before by country and by consumer and enterprise segments. Talking about the segment, the consumer side will choose more services packages like triple play, and mobile content will be the leading growth, the leading growth focus for this segment. Talking about entertainment and instant messaging and that kind of services for this segment. In the business side, the enterprise mobility and the value-added services like managed services will be the growth focus in the upcoming years. From a geographic point of view, and splitting this between the main trends that we've been talking about, convergence will be leading in 2008 for Chile and Mexico. In terms of mobility, Brazil and Colombia will lead the growth in 2008. And talking about broadband, Argentina and Colombia will continue to be the more growthy markets in the region. So now I would like to open the Q&A section for those who want to write your questions in your Q&A panel. Please free to do it, and I will answer them right now. The first question talks about future handset preferences for the Brazilian market. That would be a question that we would like to follow up with you with the handset devices team. So I will take note of your question and follow up that with the consumer side research team. I will give you a couple of minutes, so if anybody is writing any question, please free to do it in the Q&A panel. Okay, there's another question, and it says, do you consider WiMAX will be complementary for fixed networks or will be a mobile alternative? Well, right now, WiMAX is only available for fixed services. But IDC foresees that in the upcoming years, WiMAX will not only be a fixed alternative, but also a mobile alternative for the fixed mobile conversion. There is another question. What effect do you anticipate from number portability adoption in Latin America? We have evidences of this type of trend in Mexico and also in Brazil. It will depend in the fixed mobile conversion adoption in the upcoming years. We see that Mexico will be one of the leading countries in terms of number portability in the region. But anyway, that is still recent, and we don't have much evidence to talk about this in the short term for another country. Well, there's another question, and it says, do you know what are the plans for the WiMAX network to be operational and commercially viable in Brazil? Well, the WiMAX option has recently been assigned to some of the service providers, so we expect this development to take place from one more year. So that will be a good time to talk about this type of services implemented in Brazil. Well, there's another. What is your point of view regarding the unified communications opportunity for Latin America, mainly in Brazil? Well, unified communications, that is something that that is recent and not so mature in our region, but we expect that to start gaining adoption from 2008, end of 2008 and 2009 mainly. WiMAX currently can't support video solutions, so what are your best guess for silex such as Axtel? Okay, this is a technology that needs to continue to evolve in the upcoming years. The mobile version of WiMAX has recently been launched, so that is something that needs more time of development to gain in bandwidth and service provisioning. Anyway, we can follow. I think this is a very specific question and technical. We can follow up that by email. Okay, we have time for one or more two questions if you want to write them up. Okay, I think there are no more questions. I will give you my contact details. So if you want to follow up with me by email, I will be happy to answer your questions. So I will pass to Luciana. She has a message for you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. By tomorrow, you will receive the audio replay of this webinar. And for more information about Latin America telecom services trends, please visit our e-campaign at www.rdclatin.com/telecom services. Over there, you will find a market overview in mixed media format, audio, video, and graphics. Thank you very much.